This meeting is a 102nd session of the Club Secretary Student Council will come to order. Rebecca, roll call please.
Andrew?
Here.
Corey?
Here.
Me, here. Raymond?
Here.
Julia?
Here.
Sally?
Here.
Jennifer? Here. Aaron?
Here.
William?
Here.
Tyler?
Here.
Scott?
Here.
Shaylin?
Here.
Becca?
Here.
Delight? Hannah?
She's
Oh, yeah, she's here. Sammy? Veronica?
Here.
Brittany?
Here.
Alex?
Here.
Savannah?
Here.
Lauren?
Here.
Ellen?
Here.
Kevin?
Here.
Nick?
Here.
Thank you, Rebecca. Next we'll be moving into the reading of last week's minutes. Are there any motions on the floor? Julia?
I move to waive the reading of minutes.
There's a motion to waive the reading of the minutes. Is there a second? Seconded by Shaylin. Questions to the wording and discussion? Seeing none, we'll be moving into voting. All those in favor of waiving the reading of the minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Seeing none, this motion passes. Next, we'll be moving into the approval of the minutes. Are there any such motions on the floor? Will? There's a motion on the floor to approve the minutes. Is there a second? Seconded by Becca. Questions to the wording or any other points of discussion? Seeing none, we'll be moving into voting. All those in favor of approving the minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Seeing none, this motion passes. All right, so next we'll be moving into public comments. Are there any public comments at this time? All right. Seeing none, we'll be moving into financial matters with the grant committee report. Aaron?
Yeah, so first, I'd like to move to allocate, out of the equipment fund, out of quarter three, $3,942 to I, and, no, when am I, I'm sorry. Yeah, I got it. It is. Out of quarter three, $2,500, and out of advocacy, $500 to I for, an event which will bring a group, an Israeli Palestinian group to Clark. And then there'll be a second half of the event as well, which will be later on in the year, which will bring an artist to create a mural. Jess is here, if she'd like to talk a bit more about the event.
Hi. So it's going to be a really great event. It's called the Arts Coexistence Initiative, and we just hope to bring a different perspective to campus of Israelis and Palestinians, and just to talk about it in a peaceful, creative way.
I'd also like to move for food waiter as well.
Yeah, just say. Yeah.
I'd like to add a food waiter as well. Working with the money we're going to institute.
Alright, so there's a motion on the floor to allocate $2,500 from quarter three and $500 from advocacy with a food waiver to High for their event. Is there a second? Second by Julia. Are there any questions to the wording or points of discussion? Alright, seeing none, moving into voting. All those in favor of allocating $2,500 from quarter three and $500 from advocacy with a food waiver for High, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? One abstention. Seeing as such, this motion passes. Aaron?
We'd like to move to allocate $250 they're going on a trip to a convention, which would be $500 for all 5 members. The reason we didn't allocate the full amount is the advocacy fund is very low, as well as our quarterly budget is quite low, so we kind of have to do cuts with the budgets. But this should cover a good portion of the trip.
Alright, so there's a motion on the floor to allocate $250 from quarter three to Food Truth. Is there a second? Second by Julia. Are there any questions to the wording or points of discussion? Seeing that there are none, we'll be moving into voting. All those in favor of allocating $250 from quarter 3 to Food Truth, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Seeing as such, this motion passes.
I'd like to motion to grant $1,500 out of quarter 3 to alternate spring break. This is something that's been going on for a while. We funded it last year. The money will be put towards meals and vans for the week. Alternate spring break basically just goes out in the community. A group of last year's 30 individuals went out and did some type of service work, so we'll be doing something very similar this year as well. Once again, the reason we didn't fund all of it, but definitely would like to. But the quarter 3 budget is, we've had a lot of requests this semester, so, alright. But I believe someone from service breaks here can speak on it a bit more.
Yeah, I'm representing alternate spring break, and essentially the idea is that it's an opportunity for Clark students who are staying on campus to get out into the community and help out at a bunch of different organizations. Last semester we helped out at the Bike Share, several environmental agencies around Worcester who helped to rebuild areas of Worcester that are falling apart, a nursing home, and several others. We'd actually hoped to ask for $2,000. Because last year we received a budget of $2,500, and we were hoping to grow this semester and receive a few more members.
Could you please take a name for the minutes?
Oh, Andrew Maisley.
All right, so the motion on the floor is to allocate $1,500 from quarter 3 to alternative spring break. Is there a second? Seconded by Radhika. Are there any questions to the wording or points of discussion? Hannah?
I was just curious how many people you have signed up or considering.
We're still in the sign-up process right now, but we were hoping to receive between 30 and 40 people this year.
Rebecca?
How much money was it that you wanted to make this happen?
We had requested 25. We're getting 1,500. We were hoping to receive 2,000 instead of 1,500, if that was possible.
Rebecca?
I think that it was really great, and I would like to make a motion to increase what we can give you to 2,000.
All right, so there's a motion on the floor to increase the allocation from 1,500 to 2,000. Is there a second? Seconded by Becca. Questions to the wording or points of discussion? Julia?
Aaron, can you speak to why you didn't grant them the full amount initially?
Initially we did, but then we looked over, this week alone we had, it was like 15, I think it was about $15,000 total from all groups. And we've, last week as well, and the week before, we granted pretty major events. And the funds right now are just very, very low for the amount that we have going through until spring break, which is when we get our funds renewed. So we just tried, I mean, we didn't grant, I think we granted one in full this whole week. And that's basically the reason. It's just we kind of need to be conscious of the rest of the weeks we have going forward and make sure there's money left to grant and to the rest.
Will?
Do you have an amount left for quarter 3? Yeah, quarter 3 is 6,394, and that'll be through spring break.
Scott?
I'll touch upon this when I'm talking about the mid-semester budget report, but one of our ideas with some of the money that was left over was to distribute some of it to grants committee, because we know that you guys are getting a lot of requests. So keep in mind that if this goes through and we talk about it, grants will be receiving more money to fund other clubs.
Aaron?
And this is well, I mean, we started, this is the third week, fourth week, and we started with, I believe, $16,000, so within 3 weeks we've already spent $10,000. And that's just from the quarterly budget. We've spent the equipment and accuracy as well. So I mean, this semester has been like very unusually high with requests, and especially the amount of requests dollar-wise. So we're just trying very hard to keep it where it should be.
Rory?
What was this about increasing grants? We're putting money from the surplus. How is grants getting more money?
Scott?
So when we go over this, we distributed most of the money to these requests. There's a little left over that we didn't use for these clubs that we wanted to give to grants to cover Because there's even more requests closer to the end of the year for grants committee, so we were hoping that that would kind of help them out.
Rory?
So this is relevant to a discussion we're having later. So the money from the quarter or the mid-semester budgets, the extra money from this budget is going to
Some of
roll
it, yeah.
into, okay, so.
Alright, so if anybody has any other points, let's try to keep them germane to the amendment at hand, which is what we're actually voting on. Julia?
I have a question, I guess, for Nick. Could we vote to approve the amount that Finance Committee proposed now, and then later vote, if we do approve this, vote to add $5,000 onto it? Could we break it up somehow?
No. Nick?
I don't think it's possible.
Okay.
Alright, so the amendment at hand, what we'll be voting on now is to increase the allocation from $1,500 to $2,000. Is there a second? A second by Hannah. Questions to the wording or points of discussion? Shaylin?
Just as a possible point, were you planning to come to PCF?
So,
PCF, just the $300 you can.
yeah, we were.
And so, are you still looking for 2,000
Yeah.
in addition to the 300?
Yeah, because last year we had a budget of 2,500, and again, we're expecting to grow. So if we could get 2,000 and make up the rest with other funds, that'd be great.
Okay, alright, so we're moving into voting. All those in favor of increasing the allocation, increasing the recommendation from 1,500 to 2,000, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? One abstention. Seeing as such, the motion passes. Next, we'll be moving back into the original motion, so now we have to vote on, we voted to approve the amendment, we have to vote on the original motion now. So all those in favor of allocating $2,000 from the 43 to alternative spring break, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? One abstention. Seeing as such, the motion passes.
Thank you.
Yeah, next motion, this is for an honors project, which, last semester we had 7 people, doing this event, request one from us, the majority of people who are from the geography department, and Adam's been very persistent about trying to get money, but it's just not there somehow. He kind of got left out of getting that $500 to go to the conference and kind of get something that he's gonna have to pay for, which we'd really like to help him with. Which is why we granted him the full amount as well. Katie just informed me that I can take, won't be until April, so instead of quarter 3, I'd like to go up to quarter 4. And I believe Adam's here if you'd like to talk on.
Alright, so the motion on the floor is to allocate $500 from quarter 4 to Adam Morris. Is there a second? Second by Shaylin. Questions to the wording or points of discussion? Becca?
Is Adam here?
I don't believe so. Alright, so we're moving into voting. All those in favor of allocating $500 from quarter 4 to Adam Morris for the AAG conference, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? One abstention. Seeing as such, the motion passes. Aaron?
I'd like to move to grant Clark Yoga $500 from quarter 3. Sorry, $450 from quarter 3 and $240 from quarter 4. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
240 from equipment and 450 from equipment and operating surgery. Clark Yoga obviously is something a lot of Clarkers enjoy doing. Right now they're running low on yoga guys, we only have about 10. I'm going to do sessions with the swim team. They're going to start doing, hopefully doing sessions with the soccer team and our sports teams on campus. So out of the equipment fund, there'd just be money to cover what they need for mats and a couple other small things. And then the money out of the quarterly fund would be towards Lauren and Claire, the two instructors, to be able to get extra experience in extracurricular classes to kind of refresh their thinking. But we didn't fund all of it once again, just because quarter three is dwindling. And a large portion of it was t-shirts, which we normally don't sponsor. We're going to do the most 200 on it. I believe Claire and Lauren are here for the top on it.
Alright. So the motion on the floor is to allocate $450 from the equipment fund and $240 from quarter three. Is there a second? Second by Julia. Are there any questions to the wording or points of discussion? Seeing that there are none, we'll be moving into voting. All those in favor of allocating $450 from the equipment fund and $240 from quarter three, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Seeing as such, this motion passes. Aaron?
Next motion to grant $300 from equipment and $250 from quarter three to RH will be RJ. They'll be holding a step event that have several different step teams from, I believe, from universities around Massachusetts, coming to the show halfway. The money will be for equipment for sound tech and lighting, I believe. And then afterwards, they wanted to do a dance party. Initially, they wanted to do the dance party in the dining hall and asked for a significant amount more for security. But as a first-time event, we're recommending that maybe they do something a bit smaller scale on the grind, which would require less money from security, for security, and less money from us, which is why it's the number it is. I believe, I don't know if someone's here.
Julia?
I can represent RHI. The reason we are going to have the event in the dining hall rather than the grind is because the participants from the other universities and the people that they bring with them are also invited to the party. And we had met with Mike and he suggested that we use the dining hall because the event is open to people who are not just Clark students.
Could you possibly use Tilton? Is it not a little cheaper than the cap?
$100 for that, I'm not sure. The cast
Hannah?
When is this supposed to be held?
March 23rd.
Okay, and have you guys sought co-sponsorship at all?
Yes, we're co-sponsoring the event with BSU.
Okay.
Rebecca?
Does RHA have their own finances?
We do, yes, and we're contributing $500 of our own budget to this event. We have $750 left in our programming budget for the semester. And BSU is also contributing $500.
Are there any other questions, discussion? Mike?
What is your budget breakdown for this event?
I don't have it on me right now. I wasn't going to put in the request, they just weren't able to be here.
Because 1,700 to now 550. What is how does that translate to the quality of the event?
It was primarily for equipment and stuff that doesn't exist in the CAF that they would have had to put up, but a lot of that stuff's already in the grind. What I assume Aaron is saying, that there's sound equipment and everything already down there, so we wouldn't have to rent it and put it in there.
Okay. Hannah?
How many are you expecting as far as attendance from other schools, including, and then also Clark?
Including Clarkies? We expect 500 people to attend the actual event, and we're selling tickets to the after party and the show, so if you buy a ticket you can get into both. And we assume that half the people who go to the show will probably go to the after party.
Alright, Katie?
Just for reference, the capacity of the grind is approximately 200 to 250. The capacity of Tilton is approximately 300 to 350.
Okay, thank you.
The capacity of the dining hall is 600 to 620. And For further reference, the only student club on campus to fill the ground to capacity at a dance event has been BSU.
Alright, so returning to Aaron's initial motion, the motion on the floor is to allocate $300 from the equipment fund and $250 from quarter three. Is there a second? Is there a second? Seconded by Jennifer. Questions to the wording or points of discussion? Becca?
Yeah, can you just explain like what this event is? I'm just confused what the step show and after party is referring to.
Okay, so the step show is a tradition that exists on other campuses. There are 9 fraternities and sororities who participate in this event, and we want to bring these organizations from local universities to our campus, and we're going to have a competition. So it's going to be a step show competition. Each group will perform. We'll have 9 guest judges, and then also Jason Zaleski is going to be the neutral judge. Like each organization is going to have a representative judge of that organization, and we have prize money for the winners, which is going to come from the money we earn from the tickets. And the after party is the dance that's also a part of that tradition. So other campuses do this as a step show and after party event. And we wanted to try having it at Clark's campus because a lot of students have been requesting it.
It's a dance show.
Yes. A dance competition.
Alright, Sally?
It's not just like normal dance though, it's like stepping. So it's something that Clark has never done before. So RHA thought to bring it in. It'll be like unique and I think it'll really draw a lot of people.
Becca?
So as far as like interest with our students, who have you heard from that would be interested in this?
So for the competition, what like our supervisor did was send out an email to a bunch of nearby universities and colleges, and I know about 3 responded back saying that they're really interested to perform. So hopefully we can get 9 groups to come, and there's also other people that are interested, but they have to organize a group and see if they can make it, because it's a big commitment.
Alright, so we're moving into voting. All those in favor of allocating, are there any other points of discussion? Brittany?
Well, if they're gonna expect, if you're expecting that many people, how much more money would you have, like, would you actually need to have it in dining hall? I guess my question is either for finance or for Julie, I don't know.
Because I don't have the budget breakdown with me, because that's somebody from our organization who's able to be here.
And we're not able to allocate more later? Like, if they end up, like, not, if BSU filled the ground?
Katie?
There's no bylaw not allowing groups to submit a second request. They can always submit a second request.
Aaron?
I believe it was $500 extra security at the show, and then $900 extra for things going directly to the dance. There'd be extra security for the dance, and then lights and I believe a DJ as well.
Alright, so we're moving into voting. All those in favor of allocating $300 from equipment and $250 from quarter three, please say aye. All those opposed? Any abstentions? 2 abstentions. Seeing as such, the motion passes.
I'd like to motion to grant $200 from quarter three to one. This is for an event called One Power Summit, which we funded last year as well for somebody who wants their group on campus. It's a small piece, so we definitely
Basically, it's a Power Summit in DC. It's a leadership conference. This semester, 2 of the leaders who were the presidents of one are no longer on campus, they're abroad. So I'm now the president, and I feel that this summit would really help my leadership skills and be able to do the job I need to do at One Campus Challenge, which is a really active group on campus for advocacy against extreme hunger and preventable disease. So.
Alright, so the motion on the floor is to allocate $200 from quarter 3 to 1. Is there a second? Second by Julia. Are there any questions for any points of discussion? Jennifer?
Are you the only one going, or are other people going with you?
Yeah, originally it was two of us, but one of them is on a leave of absence now. So yeah, it's a leadership conference for, I'm also an intern through one, so it's for the interns and for the campus leaders, so they can then bring back those skills to their campuses and present to their groups, and then we hold events throughout the semester.
Are there any,
As an intern, do you receive any kind of funding to go to events like this, or?
It's unpaid.
Okay.
The rest of the event is covered by the organization, so like rooming and food and stuff like that.
alright, are there any other points of discussion? Seeing as such, we'll be moving into voting. All those in favor of allocating $200 from quarter 3 to 1, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Seeing as such, this motion passes. Okay. Aaron, do you have anything else to report? Awesome, thanks. Alright, so next we will be moving down our agenda is the finance committee report. Scott?
I move to accept the 2013 mid-semester budget allocation report and allocate the funds described within.
Okay. So there's a motion on the floor to approve and accept the mid-year, the 2013 mid-year allocation report. Is there a second? Second by Savannah. Are there any questions to the wording or points of discussion? Scott, would you like to kind of explain how your committee works through this process?
Sure, so first of all, thanks everyone for being here. I'll try to be quick and precise. So we as the Finance Committee and Student Council uses the mid-semester budget to fund big clubs, big events that kind of benefit like the whole student body. We like to fund new clubs that have had trouble being funded, initiatives, and any kind of supplementary money for clubs. So when we're looking through these requests that you guys submitted, we look to see how much money you actually requested, if what you requested can be used for multiple years, if everything is, a necessity. Sometimes food or t-shirts might not, we're kind of against that. Also, we check to see how many people are benefited from whatever you're requesting for. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about your request and how, from our standpoint, how we had to look at it. So the process was that clubs filled out the request, and we looked at them, and then we gave our recommendation, and then we emailed you guys back and kind of gave you a chance to appeal. And as of this point in time, no one has appealed our recommendations, which is good. And then on the next page, you'll see our requests and how much we recommend, which I'll go into more in depth with all the descriptions. But overall, we had a total of $43,287.96 to allot. The total requested from everyone was $55,112, and we ended up recommending a total of $38,306 with the remaining funds of $4,980. Which we'll talk about at the end, what our plans to do with the remaining funds are. So first was Stir Magazine, and they requested $486.09, and we as a committee recommend to allocate the entire request. They need the money to release their magazine, and it's really important for them and the readers to keep things going. For the Clark University Student Council, we like to think that we work hard, and what they were asking for was office supplies and additional funding for events for the whole student body, and to help pay for internet services. So we thought that was essential. So they requested $3,070.17, and we recommend to request the entire amount. For Rising Stars, they requested $545, and we recommend $320. We recommend this. we held back $200 because we were trying to be within all the groups to be consistent with t-shirts. Most of the time, a lot of clubs ask for some kind of clothing that we don't really see the longevity in it and see if it will be used multiple times or if the people just kind of take it home and enjoy it for themselves. So that's why we withheld the $200. But the additional money that we request was pretty much to keep rehearsals going and put on another show for this semester. So next is ISA, and they requested $6,213. We recommend the full request. As you know, Gala is one of the biggest events here on campus, and we would love to help what they do out as much as possible. And they had their budget breakdown was really specific, and everything they need was a necessity, and it's all going to end up benefiting the entire Gala. I think that with this amount of money, it'll definitely increase and make things a lot better for the event. Also, this is one of the big events that kind of benefits the whole student body, so we were more susceptible to allocate the entire request. For Clark ACM, they requested $621, and we recommended $321. Clark ACM is a new club, and they were struggling with funding. However, we looked through the club, their request, and the $321 were to kind of fund everything they need and computer supplies, but they put down $300 worth of food for meetings, which we didn't see as a necessity, so that's what we omitted in that request. For Kai, they requested $2,500, and we recommend $2,400. So they're also a relatively new club and want more money to support their events for this coming semester to keep things going and keep their name out there. Without this money, they would struggle putting on any events for the student body. And we decided to omit the $100 because part of their description for decoration was left extremely vague. So that's what that is for. Next is Women's Ultimate Frisbee. They requested $750, and we recommend to give them $750 for an entire request. They're also a new club on campus, and they plan on being a part of a few tournaments this semester, so these funds will go towards the tournament fees and travel fees to let them kind of participate within this next semester. For Karate Club, they requested $2,380, and we recommend to grant their full request. They need the whole amount to keep the club going this semester for different registration fees and I think belt fees. It was like belt testing fees, that's what it was. So this is needed for them to continue participating in karate for the semester. Amnesty International, they requested $550. We recommended $550, the entire request. They're another new club who needs funding to sustain their presence on campus. Also, it's a pretty low request for being new and everything. Yet again, included in the budget break, in the expense report was it was a necessity. So that's why we believe that they should get an entire request. For Quidditch, they requested $3,000, and we recommend $2,170. They're a new club on campus as well, and I know they've been going to grants and been trying hard to get funded so they can compete competitively amongst other colleges. We omitted certain equipment that we thought that they could either get from Clark, or we know that they've gotten other jerseys and certain things in the past from grants, so we thought that those wouldn't be as necessary since they've already had some equipment from that. So that's why we omitted those expenses. Next is the Muslim Cultural Society. They requested $810, and we recommend $810. They are yet again a new club on campus and are trying to get as much recognition this spring as possible, and they'll be holding multiple dinners, and that's what this money will be going for the food and the dinners, to get to target people in Muslim culture, and kind of get everyone together and celebrate their heritage. Yeah, so that's all needed for their dinners and events within this semester. Next is the Aquatic Club. They requested $3,607.69. We as a club we recommend to allocate the majority of the request. So they're a new club on campus, and a lot of their expenses that they included were for equipment to include in the pool so that they could participate in sports such as polo or water polo, and so most of that was needed. What we omitted was $300, which went towards t-shirts for the team, and we didn't, yet again, like I've described before, we didn't see those as necessities for when you're asking for money, so that's why we didn't get those $300. Next is the Educational Studies Program. They requested $1,500. We recommend the full request of $1,500. They hold an event called Splash, and it's been run successfully for 3 entire semesters, and it's when students teach middle and high school kids without all of Worcester. It's a really great event, and we wanted to support it all fully because everything they needed yet was a necessity. They were one of the clubs that asked for t-shirts, and we supported those, but we only supported those because they needed to be able to, students needed to be able to tell who is, who is like a teacher and who's not. So that's, I thought I'd get that out there. That's why we supported their t-shirts instead of other people's.
And if I may further state, one thing about ordering t-shirts is we had tried to do that in past semesters but weren't able to. These we fully intend to keep around. Most of our teachers stay for multiple semesters, and we will in fact, if we know somebody was given a t-shirt one semester, not give them another one. Like, these are actually going to be reused and they are of vital importance.
Okay. Next is Model United Nations. This was more a tough request. They wanted to go to compete with Harvard and Chicago, and we thought that the full $10,000 and that $10,090 was a lot of money to only benefit a certain amount of, few amount of people on campus. So we decided to recommend to fund Harvard. And they've been trying to compete with all the top schools and have been doing a really good job. So that's why, we want to at least support one of their events. And next is Hip Hop Collabo, and they requested $2,000, and we recommend $1,500. $2,000 they requested for was to pay for DJ, lighting, person who's operating the lights, projector, and overall expenses for the event. We omitted $500. First of all, they asked for $2,000 and they listed those, but they didn't show the specifics in each of how much each thing cost separately. So we took out $500 because they mentioned that they wanted sweatshirts and sweatpants for everyone, which again we didn't see as a necessity. And I think that'd be for about 30 people. So we omitted $500 because again it wasn't a completely itemized breakdown. So that was our explanation for that. Next is EcoReps, and they requested $3,500. We recommend the full request. EcoReps runs Go Green on the Green, which is a big event every year, and they will be, what this money is going for is the multiple bands that they'll be supporting will be I know there's a big headline band, and then a few other ones, and ones from Clark as well. So these funds specifically are for the bands that will be on the green playing throughout the whole event. So we thought that this was extremely necessary to fund the full request. Next is the ballroom dance team. They requested $2,200. We recommend $2,200 as well. Alright, so this organization, this request will pay for their competitions this spring, which, yet again, they want to be as competitive as possible, get their name out, give Clark a good reputation within ballroom dancing. And also, if we don't fund this, then they'll have to pay out of their pocket. So we thought, yet again, it would be benefiting the whole club, and that it would allow them to compete within the spring, rather than not competing at all, or paying out of their own pockets. The Millenium Leadership Club, they requested $9,715, and we recommend $0. The problem with them was they submitted an annual budget request instead of a mid-semester budget request, so they were a little mixed up. So that's why we're giving them no money. They'll resubmit it for next year, and that's the money that they'll hopefully get it for next year. Last is the Student Alumni Relations Committee. They requested $1,425, and we are recommending $1,425, the entire request. They got a new idea at a conference about Traditions Week, and they had a great breakdown of everything they needed for the event, which sounds really great, and it's going to bring the student body and alumni together. And yet again, the expenses were very specific, and everything is needed for the event, and it looks like it could be really great and benefit a lot of people, including many alumni. So into the conclusions, so we have left over $4,981.01 in remaining funds. Seeing that no one prior to right now has appeal or recommendations, our plan for this money is to distribute $3,000 to quarter 4 for grants committee to aid them with requests that come during the rest of the semester. As you guys saw today, they're struggling with funding these last minute initiatives or different things that they need. So I know that this $3,000 will go to the youth grants because their money's going quick and they're going to need it, especially when all the requests start coming in within the last month of school. Also, we believe and recommend that $1,981 will be left in the ESAF to compensate for clubs who go over budget at the end of the year, so this will help avoid any severe penalties for the clubs. That is the 2013 semester budget.
Brian,
Can I issue a comment, please?
so before we move into a discussion on this motion, I'd really like to remind everybody who's here today and all the counselors that we do have our quarter 4 account, and we do have a ton of money left over in our PCF account, and a lot of these events are on campus. So I would really, really encourage, like, if you guys are looking for, $200 or $300, or even just, $100 here or there to apply for PCFs, because really no one's been, doing that all semester, and we have a ton of money sitting there. And the purpose of the PCF is to give money to people for on-campus events. So I really want to, encourage you guys to do that down the road. All right, are there any points of discussion? Jennifer?
Oh, what is Clark ACM?
It's something with computers.
Mark, Steven?
No, they're right there.
I can, yeah, the ACM stands for the Association of Computer Machinery, so I think our full name is something along the lines of the Clark University chapter of the Association for Computer Machinery. Basically, it's just a national organization that just provides a framework and resources for clubs such as ours, which is basically just a computer science club, where we want to just provide a way for people interested in computer science and computer programming to, have a club and go to events we hold weekly events on various things. We give tutorials on how to do specific things. We have programming contests, hackathons, etc. And so we're asking for money because there's a lot of things that we can't do because we don't have any funding to do them, and it doesn't require much, just a few $100.
Alex?
I was wondering how we switched over from quarter 3 to quarter 4.
Aaron?
It's after spring break.
Could you please take your name from the side?
Zachary Harrington.
Alright, are there any other points of discussion? David?
Just wanted to make a request from ECREPS. We know, and thank you for the full request, a cost that just came up that we were trying to get rid of with this request was all of our sound costs. So that's why we requested the full $3,500 for bands. A cost that we that I screwed up on that I didn't include was our sound costs. So I've talked to Mike McKenna, and that'll total $350 for sound and electricity. So I'd like to amend, see if I can just see if we can amend the amount to $33,850.
Shailene?
I would suggest that you go to PCF for that.
Well, we will be using PCF anyways. we plan on using PCF anyway for food. We're planning on making the event larger this year than it's ever been. So we will be using PCF as well as probably grants later down the road. We're trying to make sure all of our sound costs are set, which will give us more flexibility later on.
Mike, what is this like exactly? Like, can you break this down? Like,
It's exactly $200 for sound and $150 for electricity.
What
It's
is
given
that?
to me. I don't know. It's money that Mike tells me that we use every year.
Rory?
So I'm going to venture a guess that everyone else is also here to talk about their allocations. My understanding is that there is now an appeals process starting right now for a week. No? No, it's not. It's already happened, it's over. This is their appeal. No one actually appealed.
So all of the groups were presented with their allocations via email last week, and they were told that if they wanted to appeal those allocations, they could get in touch with Scott, who would set a meeting with the Finance Committee. They were also encouraged to attend this meeting to speak in favor of their recommendation, should it become necessary, or they could come to this meeting and ask for more money if they want to. David is, I don't know if other folks are planning to, but they can appeal to council to have council move forward, to have council amend what's in this report if council feels necessary. Just a quick answer to Mike's question, $150 for electricity is to get the power outside. That's how much it costs to have the electricians install the power panel. $200 is for a sound technician to operate the soundboard throughout the duration of the event.
Thanks, Katie.
Rory?
So this is the final, we vote on this and this is the final decision.
Correct.
Okay, thanks.
Alright, are there any other points of discussion, additional motions, amendments, anything?
The Educational Studies program had a question that we were unsure of. Apparently, and we were not aware of this and have not done this in the past, Clark does offer that events can have guest wireless access, which we think would be very beneficial, given that there are a lot of parents of these students who we have come just milling about, as well as students who bring laptops, though admittedly they're a minority. According to the info on Link, there is a cost associated, but it doesn't actually list what the cost would be, and since we had never done this in the past, we did not think to factor it into our budget.
Katie?
It's approximately $300, which coincidentally is also the same amount you can request from PCF.
We have already gotten $300 from PCF, and it was actually to rent out Tilton and to prepare Tilton.
Yep,
So.
and you can ask for more.
Oh, really?
As I stated previously, there's no limits on how many times you can request money from council. Doesn't mean they're going to give it to you every time, but there's no like double jeopardy law in place that you can't ask for more.
All right, I'll be doing that right away. Thank you.
Alright, are there any other points of discussion? Anything? Alright, seeing nothing, we move into voting. All those in favor of approving the 2013 mid-semester budget allocation recommendation report, please say aye.
Aye. Did we do David's request?
Yeah, we have to.
We have to do David, but he didn't.
Katie.
Somebody on council would have to make a motion to do that. David, as fabulous as he is not on council, so he can't make an amendment.
I move to amend the allocation for eco reps to increase by $350. So to increase to $33,850.
Read that.
Well, they have 3,500. I want to change it to 3,000.
3,800.
I thought you said 33.
Oh, I'm sorry, no.
Alright. Scott.
I recommend to take it away from the remaining money that will be left over for the clubs to avoid any severe penalties, which is on the conclusion.
Okay. Alright, so there's a motion on the floor to increase the allocation to 3,000.
Since, you can submit another PCF request, can't you? So like, can they use the PCF for the second, like a second request instead of taking it from the budget? So instead, should we not have?
Yes, they could.
If I can make multiple pieces.
But they all, I mean, you also have extra money here. That's gonna sit in an account just in case, which is a good thing to have, but.
Alright, Becca.
Is it possible to just have a 2-minute recess? I'm really sorry, but before we vote, is it possible to do that?
You would have to make.
Can I make a motion to have a 2-minute recess before we vote?
Can you make the motion, please?
I motion to have a 2-minute recess.
There's a motion on the floor for 2-minute recess. Is there a second? Second by Julia. Questions, supporting discussion. All those in favor of moving into a 2-minute recess, please say aye. Aye. All opposed?
Yes. Yeah.
You don't have to, if you want to, but it's
for like curiosity, I don't know. I don't really care, but I feel like
Lori,
Here.
Rebecca, here, Raymond,
Here.
Julia,
Here.
Sally, here, Jennifer, here, Erin, Will, Tyler, Scott, Shaylin, Becca,
Here.
Delight, Hannah, Sammy,
Here.
Radhika, Brittany,
Here.
Alex,
Here.
Savannah,
Here.
Lauren,
Here.
Ellen,
Here.
Kevin,
Here.
Nick.
Here.
All right, so we'll be returning to Will's initial motion to increase the Eco-Reps allocation to $3,850. Is there a second? Second by Savannah. Are there any questions to the wording or points of discussion? Lori?
So, I mean, I think it's a great club and everything, and I think they deserve the money. On the flip side, there were some clubs who applied for mid-semester budgets late and got nothing, absolutely nothing. So I hate to be a stickler for the rules, but since this money is rolling right back over into grants, and those clubs that just purely due to time and nothing to do on their merit can apply now, we might suggest against just amending without, going through the correct kind of procedure. It's not exactly fair to the clubs that got shafted on this time deadline thing.
Scott?
So you're talking about us not funding the clubs that were late with their requests, is that what you're saying? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so I and the committee figured that, in our defense, that there's a deadline for a reason, and if you don't meet the deadline, that's just, I'm not trying to be a stickler either, it's just, if you enforce a deadline, you should go by that.
Rory?
I'm agreeing 100% with you, so that's what I'm saying. I'm also being a stickler for the deadlines with they requested 3,500 and we're granting it. So.
My bad.
In Eco-Rep's defense, we feel it's a very small fee that we just became aware of. And so we, considering there's $4,000 or so left over, we figure it's a very small amount out of that.
Shaylin?
Just speaking to both sides of it, as far as PCF goes, there is a ton of money left in it, like 90% of it left, is my feeling on it. Speaking to the other side as Eco-Reps, it would be annoying to have to go through the process twice. So I understand the argument for allocating it here, but as, to let everyone know, there's about 7,000 or so left in that.
Oh, we'll be going there.
All right, seeing that both sides have clearly been presented, we're going to be moving back to vote on the amendment. All those in favor of increasing the Eco-Reps allocation to $3,850, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
All right, are there any calls for division? There's a call for division. So, we haven't done this year. The call for division is basically where Rebecca's going to read through the roll call, and each person's going to say their vote, so that we can tally it up and to see if the amendment passes. I can't vote. Everybody else can.
Okay. Sorry, first time. Okay. Rory.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, Nay. Rebecca. Nay. Raymond.
Yep.
Julia.
Nay.
Sally.
Nay.
Jennifer.
Nay.
Erin. William.
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, yes.
Tyler.
Nay.
Scott.
Nay.
Shaylin.
Nay.
Becca.
I think I have to abstain.
Delight. Hannah.
No.
All right, the motion has failed.
Okay, so we'll be returning to seeing that this motion has failed, we'll be returning to the initial motion, which was on the floor, which was to approve the 2013 mid-semester budget allocation and recommendation report. So we're moving into voting, as that motion had already been seconded. All those in favor of approving, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Seeing as such, this motion passes. All right. Got it. So, we're moving down the agenda into the Legal Innovation Committee report. Dylan?
Okay, so we had 5 PCF requests.
Becca?
I don't think we approved the semester budgets in general, what we did was approve his original.
No, we didn't vote.
Amendment down and then vote twice.
Alright,
Shailen?
okay, so we had 5 PCF requests this time. We had one from Clark EDM, which we did not fund because the event had already passed and supposedly it had been canceled, and so we did not fund that request. We had another from Chai, or whatever they are. And it was a large request that they said help us with whatever you can. And so we gave them 100 for media costs and like 50 for publicity or something like that. And they were the only 2 that fit within the 300 amount. The rest were very large amounts.
Scott?
I don't know how to pronounce it, just Kai.
Hi.
Kai?
Hi.
Hi?
Hi.
Okay. So they've been applying for like grants at PCF and mid-semester budget, so I'm curious, like, is this all going to the same thing? Do we know? Do they have like a million events?
Aaron?
Pretty sure it's different events. It's all kind of the same thing, like Anna did last week during Peace Week, which is kind of different than what's happening with, Jess just came in for 2 separate events. One, they'll be both be until one is, I believe, in February, the other one's in April. First is, I think, like Israeli Palestinian musical group is coming and performing, and then the other is a muralist who they haven't come to, I believe the muralist has a permanent spot for them. So they're both, all together is like 8,000, something. And then that piece on top of that is
Katie?
They also hold an Israel update event every 2 weeks, so they've been having events very consistently. Hopefully, now that they have a mid-semester budget, they received a mid-semester budget, 3 minutes ago, that will alleviate some of the requests coming from them, so they'll have money to work with that's dedicated to their self-organization. But I mean, I can speak to the fact that they've registered a ton of events this semester.
Okay. All right, Shailen, anything else to report?
So moving down to the rest of the requests, RHA came for their after party as well. Again, it was a large request that seemed to be help us with what you can. So we funded 200 of it for printing costs, because again, that was the only sum that we could fully fund. ESP, the Educational Studies Program, came for their splash event. They wanted to run a canteen out of Tilton. They asked for 300. The cost made sense. We funded it in full. How many have I gotten through? 4. There's a 5th one. It's from, I can't even remember. We had 5. It wasn't ESP. It was
EDM, High, RHA, and
ESP, and I'll get back to you on the next
Oh,
one.
next week. What, student council?
Oh, student council, there we go. So we asked, and it was $35 for a TA council, and we funded it. And then also we'll be meeting at a different time. We're going to do Thursdays at 5:30, which is, 5, because we were butting up against grants time. So that's that.
All right, great. Thanks. Next, we'll be moving into the Judiciary Committee report. Nick?
Hello guys, again, I'm looking this time all Thursday. So what I have to report is regarding people running from abroad for any elected position in council. Problem is there is no technical bracket or bylaw regarding that. So every year for the last couple of years, judiciary had to meet and make case by case. And what we would like to do is to recommend student council to make a group, and especially to elections committee, I think that concerns you guys basically, to make like change to our constitution and work closely with us. So for upcoming years, we'll have constitution to abide by, and it won't be every year just based on judiciary to judiciary decisions if if people abroad will be allowed to run or not. So if it would be good if group would be formed regarding that. And if you want to discuss it with judiciary, we're having a meeting tomorrow at 3 o'clock in council office, so you're free to come and we can talk more about that.
It's actually considering and kind of revising our whole process of elections is what election committee is actually going to take up doing over the course of the next week before our next meeting. And we were going to look at the process of running for executive board or any other position from abroad for the next coming election cycles. So we'll definitely be in touch with you guys. All right. So next we'll be moving into operations report. I just have two quick things to report. One being e-board elections and elections for the other available positions. If you guys are interested in running for e-board or any of the other positions, petitions are due next week by 7 p.m. To the council office. So if you guys or anybody you know is interested, remind them to run and fill out the petition. Also with regards to Spree Day, I've been in communication with President Angel and Mike McKenna, and they want to get a group of students together to kind of talk about changes that can be made to changes or alterations or additions that can be made to Spree Day into the future. So if any of you guys would be interested in joining that conversation, just email me and let me know. I'd love for some or all or however many of you guys to be involved in that process. Rory, do you have anything to report?
We'll do the SSF next week.
Okay.
So not.
All right. Ray, do you have anything to report?
Yeah, just two things. One, I'd like to thank and give applause to Aaron and the grants committee for prudently allocating funds. Their very limited amount of budget to quarter three all of our funds. I know it's very hard for him and the entire committee to do that, so I'd like a round of applause for him. And I know I did this last week, but I'd like to give another round of applause to the finance committee, my former committee, for doing a very great job in completing and doing very successfully putting the mid-semester budget together. And that is all I have to report.
Awesome. Rebecca, do you have anything to report?
A couple of you guys still haven't sent me your office hours.
It would ideally be great being this late in the semester if you guys could please send her your office hours. We've only got a couple months left, so it should be done promptly. Alright, so next we're moving into the elections committee.
Yes.
Rebecca.
I'd like to appoint two people, so we've had interviews last week and this week. Okay, I think I'm appointed. So, can I please appoint Natalie and Ringdon to, Natalie to the Affirmative Action Committee, Ringdon to Grants Committee?
Alright, so there's a motion on the floor to appoint Wandong to the Grants Committee and Natalie Amari to the Affirmative Action and Sexual Respect Committee. Is there a second? Second by Julia. Questions to the wording or points of discussion? Seeing none, we'll be moving to voting. All those in favor of approving this motion, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Seeing none, this motion passes. Alright, do you have anything else to report? Nick?
What positions are vacant? What positions are open for?
We have-
Grants open?
We have another interview for grants next. Is it next week or tomorrow?
It's tomorrow.
Tomorrow, I think, or next week. And then, so that's another candidate for grants. And then after that, we're gonna work on judiciary.
do you have anything else to report?
Just remember that e-board elections are up and coming, and Hughes and sophomore night.
Alright, so next we'll be moving into the communications committee report. Hannah?
So we have been working with the elections committee because of the debate for the upcoming e-board elections. And so we are hoping to create like a promo video. And so if you guys can pump that up and maybe people will actually come to our debate. Also, we will be hosting an event to kind of get feedback next week on Wednesday from 11:30 to 2:30. It's going to be Kisses with Council again. So in lieu of your office hours, you can see me to work at the table for however long. And we will also be getting supplies for Tea with Council because of our grants, our PCF approval this weekend, and so that will begin next week. And we are also helping the organizational committee to promote Club of the Month. And so we, as soon as we clear things up about putting up a bulletin board, that will start next week. And that's it.
Alright, awesome. Seeing that we have next we'll be moving into unfinished business, seeing that there is none, Rebecca?
Sorry. So just to reiterate what Hannah said, next Wednesday we will be having Kisses with Council Wednesday. So that means that instead of doing your office hours for that week, you can totally volunteer, so come see me after so you can sign up for a time segment. It's gonna be from 11:30 to 2:30. So just come here, sign your name. I hope to see you all there. You're just gonna hand out some chocolate kisses, get some constituent feedback, show your faces to people. It's a good way to have interface. So that's it.
Alright, awesome. So next we'll be moving into new business, seeing that there is none, we'll be moving into last words. Are there any last words, any motions? Shaylin? There's a motion on the floor, we're going to make this second by Hannah. Questions for the word, what's the discussion? All in favor of adjourning the meeting, please say aye. Aye. All opposed?